live. I need to make sure. Yep, we got audio.
We're good.
Everything's working.
You're good.
You're good.
Turn
You're good.
Gotta turn
You're
sign
good.
on. We're good. We're
You're
good.
good.
We're
You're
good.
good.
We are.
You're good.
Oh,
Well,
You're
we're
good.
mechanically and technologically speaking, we're good.
for now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hi. Hello,
Hi.
everyone. Yeah, hello. We are Pints and...
Pistons.
Pistons, t-shirts.
Pistons, I think. Yep. Yep, it works.
Not Pints and Pistons. Mine has a saying though.
And we talk about Pistons and Pints. Only that, though, like specific size
What's funny
Pistons.
about this one is
and
way before this
things
shirt,
of that
I had
nature.
this shirt.
And as Brian
Actually
talks
said
really
that
quietly, I really
Uh-huh.
want to get our each individual mics and do
Ooh,
proper
could be
pod.
on
Huh?
Could be on you.
Yeah, do proper podcasts.
Well, we need a mic system then. We need an actual, like, a 4-channel mic system that'll
It's like
hook
a
into
little-
one
it's like a hub-
USB,
yeah, it's like a hub.
But-
like a
thing.
little hub.
If Mike is wearing a mic, is that like mic inception?
It's micception.
That
yes.
means we have to use two less, because he doubles it.
Double mic.
Yeah.
That's scary.
We have to turn his down because that's double micing.
Yeah, Mike's
Correct.
not micing up.
No.
So
I can't always mic up.
do we
but-
find like a mini mic for the mini mic?
Yeah.
No, not a micrometer.
Oh, not a micrometer.
Yeah, no.
Do you prefer the digital style or the vernier style?
Vernal.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, $42 at Harbor Freight. They have a 3-pack
Yeah.
from 0 to 1 inch, 1 to 2 inches, and 1.5 to 3
All I know
inches.
is those adjustable
We had
wrenches
to
don't
we had
do
to
well.
get one for the shop recently because we had an engine that had crazy tolerances all over the place. We had to order 7 different
Now, was-
measurement lifters for it.
Was this crazy tolerances from wear, or was this crazy tolerances from lack of maintenance, or was this crazy tolerance from manufacturer?
no
manufacturing. It's brand new.
manufacturing, building new
Well,
shit.
the buckets for the lifters, the
Right.
lifter buckets, they're
Uh-huh.
just they're all over the place on this thing.
yeah.
Did Tulip the
Three-
valves?
Three things.
No,
Three
no,
things.
it's new stuff.
Three
all
things.
new
All
stuff.
new stuff.
Three things. A K, a I, and an A.
I didn't get killed in action. I just like sold a bunch of parts to the thing. All right, so yeah, we had to get a micrometer to measure the run out so we can compare it to the guide in the catalog, and then I need this one, 2 of these ones, 3 of those ones, 1 of that one.
If they're that far out at that point, I'd be wanting to see what the valve seats look like as far as
It's
It's a
within
brand new head.
it's within millimeters too.
well
Like
millimeters.
it's micrometers actually.
Hundreds of a thousandth of an inch.
Yeah.
Like
It's
.028, .030,
It's
.036.
weird.
and
It's
all the
so
buckets and
weird.
shims are that far out of whack.
Yeah.
Yay, quality control.
Well, it's a brand new head, brand new everything, so we've got to put it together from scratch.
Yeah, but
That's
still.
the problem.
What does it matter? You get new like assemblies and they leak, and then you have to replace components on them.
That's true.
Yay!
Literally earlier
I
today.
had to put a transmission pan on one because a brand new transmission from the reman facility was pouring
Oh, great.
because the pan had a puncture in it.
That's just a quick change. That's what that is. Make sure you
That's
top.
not a bug. That's a feature. It's self-changing transmission fluid.
It's like
It's
why.
a self-external lubrication system.
Yeah.
It's anti-corrosion protection.
It's,
was
I've
gonna
always
say,
said that
it's
about Fords.
anti-corrosion
Fords don't
protection.
leak oil. Fords have a factory external engine lubricator.
Yes. It's one of those like.
It's not a bug, it's a feature.
It's not my rear main seal. It's a fact that I don't have to do oil changes that often. I just add oil to it and it changes itself.
It's like a sight gauge. If you're making puddles on the driveway, it still has oil.
Right.
And it lubricates it lubricates the moving parts underneath the
If
car.
it's leaking oil, it has oil.
But that coats the bottom of the car. You don't
Stops
have
rust.
to worry.
Yes,
Exactly.
Stops rust.
Dear car gods, I have a confession to make.
How long has it been since you've done an oil change?
Oh, not that, but valve cover started a slow leak. Has become a men's leak. Haven't changed. Bought new valve cover. I have to add about a quart of oil every 2 weeks. A purely valve cover, not oil burn.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
That means every.
It's within spec.
That's every 2 months you get a free oil change.
I need to change. my
Just
valve
every
cover
3 months.
gasket.
Every 3 months, just change the filter.
Well, add that to the list, my friend.
It's
Add
rolling
that
in
to
the
the list.
back seat of my car.
Don't you love that when you
Wait a
buy
minute.
parts and they just roll
Does your
around
car
in-
now have a back seat back in it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I put it back in so I could tote the kids around when need be. I just didn't put the rest of the plastic in.
Oh, like I said, I didn't know you put the back seat back in the car.
I did.
Remember, it was still.
It's a 4-seat functional again.
Yeah,
I leave them folded down.
Yeah,
Unless
just-
I have to, because
Yeah.
I'm using my car like a truck
Yeah.
a lot since we moved in that place and buying stuff and equipment and whatnot.
Yeah.
Which it's worked perfect for
You'll get that on these big jobs.
The bad part was, though, still 2 months after the fact, oil was still seeping up from when I spilled all the oil back there like
Oh.
a couple years ago.
That was like 2 years ago.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, I knew I was gonna have to pick up Nate, one of his friends, and I folded the seats up, and there was oil spots on both the bottoms. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me! And I did it for like another hour with the steam cleaner thing, and then I've checked it since then, and I haven't got anything. But still, it was in there for like 2 years.
Oh, that's
After
the gift
I
that keeps on giving. You'll be getting that shit for years.
Yes.
I spent like 2 weeks like
But-
hitting it with the steam cleaner.
Everything it touched won't rust, and it'll be easy to take apart. Think of all those nuts and bolts that will now break loose so nicely.
easily. Everything's like pre.
But my tailgate seal's leaking now.
Well, that brings rust back into it. Man, you just can't win.
Just spill some more oil back there. It'll be fine.
I gotta order a new tailgate.
Just
seal.
repel the water.
Yeah, because the water will float on top.
And
Right.
my coolant overflow bottle just started leaking.
You don't need that.
The Gorilla Glue. or
Apparently,
whatever.
it's a common focus
Flex Seal.
Mazda 3
No,
thing.
no,
Just get
that's
some
what I
ball.
did with the one on the 86. Literally the day before our
2
show,
liter
when
soda
all of a sudden
bottle
I'm
with a
like,
hole
why is
drilled
there a
in the
giant
cap.
puddle on my floor?
Stick
That
the hose
morning,
down in there. You'll
putting
be
the
fine.
epoxy on it.
All right, 2 more things. TPMS light flashes, and ABS lights on now.
Do either of those things stop the car from driving?
It still stops. It still drives.
I was
Can't
gonna
see
say,
that shit
still
from my
works.
house.
Exactly.
The turbo kind of works, and you know.
Does it go?
I got a new shift knob recently too.
Oh, well, that fixes
Oh,
everything.
it does.
Mine did the come apart thing when I literally like the shift went clunk, and I was holding it together like this. It just came in 3 pieces apart.
Build quality.
Yes.
Hey,
Listen, he drives the ship box. It's
car's,
okay.
hey, your car's 14 years old. All right. 160.
12 years old. with
6,000 miles.
Mustang.
Catching up with you. I cracked on 149.
I just hit 86,000 miles.
166.
Yeah, 86.
Still gotta fix that seat. Or put a booster seat in there,
No, I'm gonna fix the seat.
which is
I
weird.
mean, 215,000 on dad trucks. So
I mean, it's not like you know somebody that can contact a Ford dealership and.
Well, no,
Get
LMR
parts
has
for 10%
L-
of the cost.
LMR has the parts, and it's even the Ford parts. The Ford is $40.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I should do that.
I know.
I need
But
to put
at
my
that
turbo
point, then
in.
I gotta pull the whole entire seat out.
And it's just too. It is still too damn hot for that shit here.
Exactly. That's why I haven't. So I was telling him earlier. I was throwing around the idea with Sabrina that look for like a cheap window unit and put it in the garage. Just so, and I'd have to figure out where.
Well,
to
even if
hook
you
it
get, even
out.
if you got one of those little portable units,
Well, no. At that point, it's cheaper for a window unit than
That's
a
true.
portable unit.
that's true.
Those things are actually really freaking expensive.
we just got a bunch of portable units for the shop.
They're
great
expensive.
spot little spot coolers.
But yeah,
they're great, but they're $600 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
it's one of those you can get.
they're this tall.
Well, I mean,
with
you
a
saw-
duct like this.
Well, yeah, you
they
saw
they
it.
cool off this spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you want to sit out in your garage and sit in front of it, that's fine.
You have to be
Otherwise,
a,
it's
you
not
have to be a
doing nothing.
reverse rotisserie.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
But it's one of those, like, we've been looking, like, I mean, Lowe's had them on sale, and even at Ollie's for like $115, 7,000
Slap it
BTU.
in.
Put it in a thing, like,
Oh, I mean, do you ever use your side door to the outside?
well,
of the
no,
garage?
the side door is blocked by a thing.
Oh.
And then we got the window, but it's one of those I can move stuff around to make the window fully accessible, but it's there. I got no plug right there. I got to figure out a.
Well, if it runs on 110.
Well, yeah, no, it's a regular plug.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
extension cord and
Yeah.
all that running off, but we're thinking
Just,
about
just
that.
get a heavy, just get a heavy gauge extension
Oh yeah,
cord.
but just thinking about it, I'm like, you know what?
you
Like,
just
that
pick up.
might-
Actually, you can just pick up some heavy gauge cable and just make the extension cord you need.
I know
Yeah.
how to do that stuff, just to let you know.
Yeah,
But
it's
I
not
was
rocket.
thinking, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, you know
Yeah,
what?
making your own
I
extension
don't-
cord is not rocket surgery.
I mean,
I
it's,
don't live
I know,
far
it won't,
now.
I know it won't be efficient and all that, but just as long as you got some cool air blowing in the thing, and then you get the shop
wanna
fan
run-
going too,
I
and
want to run power to my shed. My shed's like got everything for it inside. It's got like the fixture and outlet and
I
everything.
killed another rat yesterday.
Another one?
Yeah, I caught it in the blades of the mower. Mowing. It
Nice.
tried to run out the back of the shed as I was going behind the shed with the mower.
Whoops.
And Dio found it later, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
The neighborhood cats don't come to my house anymore, and it's not because of me. My chickens literally had one cornered. And the cat was
The cat
scared.
got in there and was like, ooh, food. And the
All
the
five of
food
them
was
ganged
like,
up on her.
Chicken
They
was
cornered
like, and the
this
chickens
cat.
were like, ooh, food.
yeah. The food was like, no.
Yeah.
In this place, food
I
eats
thought
you.
I was gonna have to worry about it, and then I was like, "That's cool." And like, I saw that they like chased one out a couple weeks ago, but like a couple days ago, like the cat was in the corner, and then like started going up the tree, and the chickens were still like going towards the tree, and the cat ran off.
Here, I'll grab the first beer for us.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. Oh, GM's gonna have some fun here before too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're looking at a class action lawsuits potentially on some bad transmissions.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Which ones? The 10 speeds?
No, it was the 8-speed.
Oh, okay.
And there's more GR Corolla crises. As
Oh
well.
god, that just keeps getting worse.
Have
What?
you?
Another one caught fire and they're denying the warranty.
Yeah. With video evidence.
How many is this now? 3, 4?
4.
Jeez.
Well, it's the same thing that was with the GR86. A car you bought and got a track day with that was failing on left-hand turns because of oil
Oh.
starvation.
This dude's went full
Yeah.
Kia. He was on the interstate doing 65,
Daniel.
like cruising. Thank
That
you
one,
so
Chris.
much.
Chris,
Oh, look at that.
They've been sitting in the back of my fridge for a while.
Nice.
Oh, freezer. So,
But yeah, he was just cruising at highway speeds, not even like driving aggressively, nothing.
And poof.
He was listening to music and then poof, and then like you can see him kind of looking up, and then you see him start slowing down. He's like, and he put like a comment like, "I'm slowing down to get to an exit." And then by the time he hit the exit, the car was on fire, and he got out and he just watched it burn to the ground while he waited for emergency response.
Was that another? You went faster than the tires. You went faster than the Z-rated tires at 85 miles an hour.
No, Kia is finally introducing the truck.
Really?
Yeah,
I haven't heard.
I know. 2025. Kia Tasman, named after the Australian Tasman River.
I like it.
4 doors,
Okay.
bed,
Okay.
hood, wheels, tires,
It's a Korean Ranger.
4-cylinder,
No, it's going to be a Maverick.
turbo diesel,
No, it's not.
only in Australia.
Exactly. It's kind of like the short cab, short box Rangers that were only
But
in
don't
Australia.
don't be disappointed. If you look it up, you'll be very sad because it's probably one of the ugliest things I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, it is not an attractive looking thing.
It's worse. It's worse than.
Is this
I'm not even angry about that, but I want the turbo diesel.
Is this alien beer? Is this an alien?
Porch rocker.
Yes, it is an alien.
what do you mean?
Need a bottle opener.
It's a,
It's not a twisty top. Porch rocker.
Yeah.
you guys had porch rocker?
No, I stumbled
No.
across this.
What?
I stumbled across this at Publix the other day.
You've never had porch
I've
rocker?
never had it either.
What?
So you've had this one.
I'm usually
Oh, I
not,
love this. Gentlemen, be in
Did-
for a treat.
I'm usually not a big Sam Adams fan, except for their Oktoberfest. That's
Well,
the only.
like I said-
you guys are gonna like this.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not a fan of like just the OG
Boston Lager.
Boston
I'm not a
Lager.
fan of.
Not a fan. But all of their
Really?
seasonals, summer ale is fantastic, winter ale is fantastic,
Well,
and all
see,
the
I'm-
Oktoberfest
okay.
is fantastic.
See, I'm just a Oktoberfest person. Like,
This is like kind of one of our shared peak epitomes of like a summer beer for the flavors that we're all looking for in a good outdoor cut in the grass beer.
Well, Dan,
and I
since
hate
you know this one, why don't you go ahead and read it in on the bottle?
Oh, most certainly. It is Porch Rocker. We've brewed.
It is, Porch Rocker Lemon Rattler.
Yep. We have brewed a Golden Hills lager combined with a fresh squeezed lemon taste that pairs well with any summer day. And unfortunately, I hate to say unfortunately, but it's not hot enough for that right now. We actually have a really nice evening going on, and I love it.
where the hell are
Here's
you
the
at?
great thing.
It feels great out here. Oh, boys, you will
Oh,
love
Chris.
this. Slancha.
I'm back, guys.
Salud!
Smells like tea.
Can pie.
Smells like lemon.
like. I'm happy with
If
this
you don't
one.
like it's all right, but I think it's like it's one of those proper, like it says, summer day outdoor mowing the lawn, shit sitting by the pool.
You're making a face too. I feel like you're catching something weird with it. I am too. I'm catching a weird.
It's mid-taste. It's not the beginning or the end. It's mid-taste.
It tastes like a candle.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I thought.
But it's mid-taste. It's not the initial hitting or swallow it. It's when
It's right in the middle while you're swishing it through your mouth.
Yeah.
I taste candle.
I don't get any of that. I just noticed
Yeah,
that
it's
it's
almost like a waxy.
I just noticed that
It's a
it's
wax candle.
It's
I
the
just-
lemon peel.
Maybe.
lemon
It
zest.
is. It's
It-
zest,
but
yeah.
I
it's
don't know, but it's
also low carbonation.
It's yeah.
It is
Really
the
smooth,
carbonation.
very crisp.
Yeah, if you can ever find one of the Sam Adams summer mix pack that has this in it, all of the beers are amazing. They're
See,
great
the
summer
initial
beers.
hit is really good. The last finish is like full on just old school lemon drop.
It's delightful.
But it's that middle. There's
Right
that,
there in the middle, there's just
It's
something
just like
weird.
quick. All of a sudden, like
It's there and it's gone, but
Nah.
it's there.
almost
No, I
reminds
think
me.
I
You know
think
the
for me,
old
I'm
school-
expecting more carbonation after the first hit. I'm expecting more carbonation, and it's not there.
Yeah.
And then I
Remember
just
the
get lemon
old
on the back.
school candy wax soda
Yes.
bottles? It's you took the yellow lemon one and you just popped the whole thing in your mouth and started chewing it.
Uh huh. That's what it is.
You get that lemon hit and then all of a sudden, hey, there's wax.
Yeah. I'm
I'm
chewing
just
on a
right
candle
back
for
to
just a
have,
second.
right back to having braces and putting the wax at the end of the fucking things.
Can I give you and I learned something the other day that you guys probably already knew, but I learned it?
Hmm.
That they still produce the Chevrolet Cavalier in the Spanish market.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
This is a little small.
Well, hell, up and just till a couple of years ago, they made the 1992 Nissan Sentra as a Datsun in India.
That's
And Mexico.
True. Well,
It was all fun and
Well, they
games.
were
It was all
making
fun.
the Volkswagen Beetle up until a few years ago.
It was all fun and games until NCAP got a hold of one and decided to do a modern day crash test on it, and it
And
got,
got
zero
star.
zero everything.
you know Fridays with Frank, right? The guy who pulls people over, the Frank Sloop.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was watching one of his, and he pulls over the Chevy, and I'm looking at it. It's a modern, it looks like a Cruise or something. And then I'm like looking at, and the bumper's got in boast Cavalier, and I'm like, wait, what? Hold on, I gotta look this up. And yeah, no, in the Mexican South American market, they still make Cavaliers. The cheapest Cavalier is the equivalent to 18,000 U.S. doll hairs.
Yep.
And that comes no TPMS sensors, no AC, crank down windows, manual transmission.
In Mexico, that's a bold choice.
For real.
The follow-up burp
bold
and
choice.
follow-up flavor is really good.
Yeah.
The fully loaded model has TPMS sensors, a turbo engine, leather interior, automatic transmission. Oh, and automatic windows.
I also learned something today.
What's that?
You know, the sort of the somewhat popular idea of diesel swapping older small pickups, like Volkswagen engines and TDIs into Rangers and things like that.
Yeah.
There's a company that makes a kit to stick the old 5-cylinder Mercedes turbo diesels into Toyota trucks.
Okay, that's pretty rad.
So you make the ultimate
Whoa.
non-killable thing.
Basically, because
Mercedes
it'll
5-cylinder diesels.
from the 300Ds,
So the old
Yeah.
ones.
the purely
okay.
mechanical one. So
The NA
there's
ones?
no turbo, all
Oh,
NA
the
or
tur-
diesel
yeah.
or turbo. But it's a
I've
company that
seen
makes
that.
the adapter plates and everything and a couple small things to the engine. But because those are a high revving diesel, if you have one of those 80s Toyota trucks that had that god awful 3-liter V6 that died, bolts right up to the transmission, and because of its high revving nature, you don't even have to re-gear it for something that doesn't rev as high as it does.
Somebody had it around here. It's like the
And that company also makes VW TDI swaps for those older Toyota trucks as well.
the 90s Toyota, was it the 4Runner or the Pre-Runner or whatever? It was like the Tacoma, but
Before the Tacoma, it was just the Toyota truck.
Yeah.
Well,
It's just called truck.
yeah,
it was just called truck.
He lived on like down here. It was he had it painted some ignorant color. It was like teal or something, and he had a Mercedes 5-cylinder diesel turbo in it.
You sure it wasn't
Yeah.
the 6-cylinder diesels, the OM606?
No, this was the OM617.
No, it was it was
It
a
was the OM,
5-cylinder, and
they make a kit for the OM617.
Was the 617?
he had
Yeah.
it for a while.
5-cylinder. I mean, obviously, it's not going to sound like a rally car because it's a purely mechanical diesel.
Right.
I think in their top four, they made like
the
like
straight- okay,
like
the straight
120
fives.
something horsepower, and I think 190 something foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah, but as well as those, you're taking the most unkillable truck ever with the most unkillable engine ever.
Right. Those
And-
engines literally will be at the end of the world.
Right
sitting on
there,
the ground
you have
idle.
just made the vehicle that once you do that, you're done. Like you don't need another
Yeah,
vehicle
because if you
ever
had-
again.
if you had
ever,
one-
ever again.
Because
That
if you
vehicle's
have
it.
one of those trucks and that god-awful 3-liter pukes
Craps
itself,
out.
like they do,
Yeah.
you have a truck with a broken engine, but the rest of the truck's got another 500,000 miles or so left in it, no problem.
Right.
And now you can find a Mercedes diesel with a 500,000 miles on it, throw it in there, and the whole thing will last another 500,000 miles.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Well, hell,
run on,
those old-
and run
those
on
old
just about
diesel
anything.
Those old diesel Mercedes,
And will run on just about anything.
they're still perfect.
Like I said, that engine will run on just about anything.
Yes.
It's one of those, you don't re-gasket it, you don't do anything, you keep the leaks,
Take
all
it
that.
out, you put it in the new vehicle, and you're done.
Because
You don't touch it.
Yeah, because those leaks, if there's any leaks and all that, that keeps it alive. That
Yes.
means you're putting fresh fluid that's keep all that leaking. You're good because that protects the engine.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to lie, I would not mind having one of those
No.
setups
Right.
like that. I mean,
Well, I seriously
because I love that.
considered
I love that generation
the whole
Toyota truck.
OM606 swap for the truck. I looked at that for a while. I did some research on that because that was one of the things I looked at. That was one of the ones I considered very, very, very strongly because the OM606 with a screwdriver becomes a monster.
Yeah.
Like they call it the German Diesel 2JZ. It'll make 500 horsepower as it sits.
Well, what about car spots? I have a car spot that I saw yesterday that I
Oh,
forgot
do share.
Well, I sent it yesterday because all of a sudden I was sitting here before I went to bed and I realized I forgot to say it. I passed an Ariel Atom that was on a rip.
Was
And
it the V8 one?
No.
Didn't have the wings?
No. It was the regular 4-cylinder supercharged one.
So no big wing?
no big wing.
Oh, okay. Because a few years ago there was one that was around here that had it was the small V8 one that had the wing on the
No,
back.
this was the 4-cylinder one, and all you heard was as it was coming towards me, that supercharger just threw this. It sounded like it was on a megaphone. You heard that, and then all of a sudden, going by, but you just. I'm like, yeah.
Ever since I saw Clarkson's face blow up like a balloon, I've wanted to drive one of those so bad.
But yeah, no, it was awesome. And I was like, holy shit! I saw an Ariel Atom, and I gotta say, well, I mean, I've seen him before, but seeing him here,
Yeah.
and then also that sound. Oh my, like seriously, that I like the V8 one. I'd rather have the 4-cylinder one with the supercharger
For
because,
real.
holy moly, that
Yep.
thing, one, lighter, two, it has supercharger noises.
Yes.
Noise.
That
Nothing else
noise.
but that noise.
Especially with the intake right there.
By your head.
But also with that, with how it sits, like it was like a megaphone. Like
Yeah.
you heard that thing coming. I'm like, oh, that sounds good.
Last weekend, last Saturday, on the way home from Gainesville, right in Williston at the little used car lot, there was a VW Jetta Smith-built Ute conversion sitting there.
No, well,
Really?
there's that one that rides
Silver-
around us. The silver one.
Well, this one was silver, but the back half was unpainted. It's still black. Still black gel coat.
That's the one that was driving around on 486. It would pass by work almost every single day.
It was the first time I've seen it, and it's amazing that I saw it in Williston.
Yeah, no, it would pass by work every single day.
And actually, I did see something slightly
chrome,
cool.
Chromish wheels.
No, these were just alloys, factory alloys.
Okay.
I actually did see something slightly coolish and slightly exotic in Gainesville on Saturday.
Yeah.
An AMG GT.
Oh.
Ooh.
And
Nice.
he
What color?
black.
I like that green. That they
That
had.
green is pretty
That-
sweet.
that-
but no,
that
this
green
was-
is-
like
that
I said, this
green's
one was
good.
black. Like I said, this one was black, and it was early morning, so it was probably 7:30 7:30 or so, right on Archer, and the light turned green, and he whoop. I was like,
I had two good ones.
all right.
I had the one I sent in the chat. So second gen Toyota Tercel 3-door hatch with intercooler just hanging off the front.
It looked like
bumper.
zip ties on it.
It
too.
was basically zip ties.
It
So
looked
I
good.
ended up following him all the way through Denellen. He went all the way through Denellen, right? And I watched that thing over bumps. You could tell that thing's been worked. The suspension's done. Everything's done on that car. Everything. That car looked like it was built. Like that had work to it. A lot of work.
A lot of people put the 3S GTE motors in those out of the Celica
Yeah.
turbos. Yeah.
Maybe that's what was done.
And you can, I've seen even like a few people do the all-wheel drive swap on them too.
Ooh. Because it sounded good, and it the way it rode over bumps, you could tell the suspension was definitely work.
Yeah, Tercel hatches are dope. They were another hot Puerto Rican car.
The other one I
Kinda.
saw was actually on the way over here, coming out of Denellen all the way up 40. A first gen Ford Probe turbo.
Was
in
it the
that
red one?
Red. And I need this thing
the one
looks
we-
like it belongs on a showroom floor.
It's a young kid though.
No, this was an old lady driving it.
Did it have a 98 Rock front, old school 98
No,
Rock
no,
front
her,
license
no,
plate?
her,
didn't
hers,
see.
No, hers
No, no,
ain't
no.
a turbo. This
The
is
one that lives right over
That's
here?
an that's an NA
Okay.
one. That's
No,
the
this
old school
one's a turbo.
Luger. That's
Maybe
it's
it
the
wasn't-
turbo. It's the
it
one that we
wasn't-
saw. It's the
because it
one
has
that we
the
saw at
Older
Friday
lady.
Thunder that
It
night.
was.
It has a bulge.
Yeah, no, it's a turbo.
It's the one that me and you saw
and
at
it's
Friday
manual,
Thunder.
Because two
Hold
of
on,
the
hold on.
I don't know about that.
Hold
She
on.
was behind us.
It's on our
Oh.
TikTok.
This
It's
thing
on our TikTok.
was,
Hold on.
I
Clean.
mean, showroom perfect clean.
We think we have that on one of our either
One of the
TikToks or one of
TikToks?
our YouTube shorts. We have that one.
She was an older lady and it was manual because I was next door for a
Yep.
while.
That's
That
it.
one?
That's it. That was it.
It's a
Good.
2.2
Super
turbo.
clean. Older lady, blonde hair.
Yep. Blonde hair.
That one.
I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally
I was
clean.
next to her for a
And
while.
it is.
It's stick shift.
Yeah.
Yep. Stick shift. It is
All the-
clean.
It's a GT22 turbo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And it is clean.
Mazda F2 engine.
Yep.
You can take those single cam motors and you can make almost 600 horsepower on them.
I don't
With
doubt
a
it.
big
she,
turbo
and
with
she
those
wa-
single
when she
cam
was
motors.
pulling into Thunder that night, she was prouder than anything, and they tried to give her shit for it, and we're like, no.
No, that
Park-
car was cool.
Park that fucking thing
that
here.
thing was cool.
Park
Yeah.
that thing.
Like, it's so cool to
I-
see that
and you
car
should have
so
seen the
perfectly
crowd
preserved.
that formed around it
Well,
because
no, 'cause
this
it was-
thing was
Like I said, it was funny
Perfect.
because now it's Corvette and Camaro Club that puts that on for the city of Inverness. And they were all kind of looking at the car like, what the hell is this thing? Like, they had no clue what it was. And me and Mike are like, holy shit, look at that!
Amazing.
And then I think it was because me and him were both like, holy shit, look at that! People
Started
looked at it,
noticing.
and then a few other people definitely were getting the whole 80s vibe on that thing. There's quite a few people looking at, holy shit, that thing is cool.
Right.
Well, those in
And, like-
the MX-6 GT, they were a lot like the Omni because
Kinda.
they had like about 190 horsepower and 240 foot-pounds of torque.
Yep.
And they were arm rippers. And
Yeah.
They also both had the electro suspension. You had sport mode for your suspension to go up and down and stuff.
Or the shocks would just tighten up. They would just change the valving in the shocks. Basically,
Super cool
basically
cars.
the same Coney shocks that were on the SVO, except they actually had an actuator to turn the key on them instead of manually getting out with the Coney key and going.
Right.
yeah. Yeah,
It
no,
was so
that,
cool.
that thing
Those
was.
cars were rippers too.
Yeah, that
thing
thing
was
is
beautiful.
incredibly clean. But yeah, the other one though that we've seen that's got the period correct louvers and stuff on it, and it's
Lives
got
right
the
over
old
here.
school '98 rock
Yeah, that one's got
decals
a
on
front
it.
bra on it.
Yeah, it's
No, it
got.
doesn't.
Sometimes it does.
I've seen it with the
They,
front bra.
well,
on
they
it.
take it on and off.
Yeah,
I know
sometimes
that
it does.
one.
But yeah, no,
there's
it's right
usually-
over, right over
I
here.
think they
off of
work at
Hyman's.
Walmart, or they. I've seen most of the time I've seen it. It's been sitting up at the Walmart.
Yeah.
And
but,
yeah,
yeah.
that thing's good.
That's actually probably the only car spot I've had, unfortunately. I haven't seen anything cool lately.
Same here.
I really haven't. Just regular old traffic. I've had a lot more praise lately for some reason for my car.
One thing I have been
That's about
seeing
it.
more of recently, and I'm not sure why I've been seeing more of them, the last generation Celicas.
Why though? I've seen silver,
So many.
white, blue,
Red,
red.
everything.
I've seen just about every color they were offered
They're
in.
coming out of everywhere.
In-
In GTSs with the factory body
Yeah,
kits.
the,
Yeah.
the GTSs, the regular bone stock ones.
Yeah, not even,
everywhere.
like the Celica, the SE or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of those recently.
Celica SE, Celica GT,
It's
Celica
coming out of
GTSs.
nowhere.
Seen some that are just completely stock and fairly clean. Some that are slightly modded with different wheels and whatnot and super clean. I've seen some that are a little bit ratty looking. But all of a sudden, it's like in the past 6 months, I've just started seeing tons of those. They've been everywhere.
We used to see them so much, and then they stopped.
They just
Like,
disappeared.
disappeared,
It's
and
the-
now
it's
they're
the
now they're
algorithm.
coming back.
It's the algorithm.
Yeah, it's the algorithm.
Well, it's one of those. It's like, the $700 Civics. Like this, I guess that's the new $700 Civic. Like it's just
it
popping
might-
out.
it might
Like,
very well be.
I don't know.
Listen,
but
if a presidential candidate wants me to vote for him, he come out and say, make Civics $700 again.
yeah. But it's one of those. I'm very happy to see those again, because, God, those motors. The motors in them are
Oh, man.
amazing. What are they? The 1.8?
Yeah.
The
Oh,
Dover
it's the
1.8?
2ZZ. Yeah, it's like the 2ZZ FE or something like that.
Mhm.
It's a 1.8.
And, oh,
Yamaha.
And they rev to the moon, and they
8,500
sound
RPM from the
good.
factory.
Oh,
When I went to WTI,
Yeah,
it was
and the GTS had an optional paddle shifted
Yep.
6-speed auto.
this kid at WTI had one. It was a GTS 6-speed manual, and he had a built motor that was cammed and everything that would rev up to 9,500 RPM, and it sounded like an S2000. Like the VV,
Yeah,
it's
those
like they have like a
motors were-
VVL TI or
Yep.
something like that. It's kind of like VTEC and VVTI mixed. It's weird, and they just sounded glorious.
yeah. No, they did. They sounded so good. And
Well,
they
that was
were-
the same
and
engine.
also
That was the
Toyota
same
was
engine,
reliable.
same engine and transmission. The manual version, anyway, was what they
In
put in the
the
Lotus
Elise.
Elise.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say the Elise, yeah. And the Pontiac Vibe and the Toyota Matrix
Yep.
got it too.
I
the
actually
revised
saw
version.
a Pontiac 5 at Walmart that had the VVTI sticker on the side of it
Nice.
and all that, and it was a manual and all. And I'm like,
That's great.
people don't realize like that motor,
That
like
was a good motor.
all like.
Great motor.
Talk all you want about those cars. Like, yo, you got a 5-door hatch that has a motor that revs to almost 9 grand.
And you put the right
stock.
exhaust and it sounds.
Oh,
just
it's so-
the sounds.
No, Pontiac 5 Toyota Matrix, they were kind of like a little bit of a sleeper.
Yeah,
They were
absolutely.
quick.
Like you just didn't expect.
If you got the XR of the Matrix,
Yeah, you just didn't expect little Econobox little commuter car to have, such
and
a
that's the
spunky
thing,
little
you
engine.
threw that thing around
and
the
then,
cello.
and then
Yeah.
Dodge said, "Here's the caliber SRT4."
God, I
Say-
hated that
say
car.
what-
but
say what you want.
Oh,
They are
That
fast.
car.
They are fast.
are
For
from
what
the
those things
factory.
are, they are pretty fast. And
are.
they do make all the whooshy noises. I mean, they're absolute crap cans.
they
Yeah,
are.
they look
They are.
I mean, they're a total rolling pile
Yeah, they were only fast for a very short period of time.
until everything fell off of it. I mean,
Right.
they were
No,
absolute.
they got faster because the weight reduction.
Yeah, but they were absolute crap cans of a car. But they made turbo whooshy noises, and they did fun
Let me
things.
grab the next beer and then we can go into our main topic.
I'm curious to hear what kind of whooshy noises I make after the turbo manifold because one of my friends reached out to me.
Well,
and-
if somebody would install that turbo manifold, we could all
I can
find out.
Right.
Well, no, he made me sad. He said, "Did you do like a race manifold?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "It's gonna sound like shit." And I was like, "What?" And he said, "They all sound like shit with the race manifolds." I'm like, "But
Put a resonator in it, you'll be fine.
I didn't want another. I didn't want another cast iron poo poo one. Like,
I need to do the blow off valve and the block off port so I can do
well,
atmospheric dump for my blow off valve.
the thing is
Because
like,
my truck needs to make noises.
No, your truck needs to go.
yeah, dude, if you get an aftermarket blow off valve and run it recirculating, you'll turkey gobble. With my HKS Super Sequential, when I used to run it recirculating, my car would turkey gobble.
Yeah.
I just wanted it wasn't loud enough under full.
See, that's the thing.
Throttle.
I'm not going to do exhaust or anything, so it doesn't need to be super, super loud. But I want that to make. I want other people to hear it.
Oh no!
I want to be at a stoplight, and when I, get off the gas, it goes really loud.
Well, the Turbo Smart will make the, but I mean, really, is much better.
True.
Yeah, let it choose your turkey gobble. That's much more fun.
So the box is not the box.
I know. I realized that because I was looking.
So I went up to Ocala, and I went to that store again.
Oh, that one
Yes.
that we went to.
Which is that? Sally's?
It's
No,
the
uh,
one next to the escape room that we went to.
Okay, because I went and found some store. I went and found it was
Um,
basically like sketchy convenience store.
Across
That had-
from Mojo's. There's that
Mohos. Oh,
there's that center, that shopping center that has like the Bell's Outlet and all that in it.
down on 40.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, on Silver Springs Boulevard.
Yeah.
And that, so like right across from it, like it's
Really?
in there. Yeah.
Okay.
It's next to the escape room that we went to.
Because it was somewhere off of 40, aka Silver Springs Boulevard, off to the right. It was down past all that and off to the right, quite a ways down. Sketchy convenience store.
No.
This is like a little fancy beer store.
No, this
Yeah,
was
right
this was
past-
full on sketchy convenience store. But when you went in and went to the back row, there was the cooler and then a whole aisle, and they had
I
an
just read the
impressive
description.
selection.
Holy
Uh-huh.
what?
I think this is going to be a dessert beer.
What?
I think it's going to be a dessert beer. I just read
What?
the description.
Oh wow.
I'm pouring.
Like
Oh
they,
wow. Oh wow.
Yeah.
oh my god,
Oh, pour
Oh,
slow.
it's thick.
Pour slow.
Oh, it's thick. Oh,
No,
crap.
like this is like pouring out gear oil.
It's thick. Oh.
Is that a milkshake?
Yeah,
God,
it's gonna be a milkshake.
It
I have a
smell-
feeling.
It smells good though.
I
So
poured too fast.
this is called strawberry brulee.
We haven't had a good
From
dessert beer in a long time. A good thick
Timber
one. I'm
Ales,
excited.
North Haven, Connecticut. And this is a snack-sized stout conditioned with maple coffee and strawberries.
Chris,
what?
please don't tell me that this is the price per can.
It was the price per can.
Wowzers.
That's how they sell beer there now. Everything is per can,
Yeah.
and everything is that expensive.
You know what? I was gonna say sketchy convenience store beer looked awful pricey.
This is way pricier.
No, it's right about on par. Although
Like-
there were some like sketchy convenience store. There were some beers like from breweries that we've had before that I wanted to try that were there, but they were twice to 3 times the price of what I've seen that same brewery elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I looked at that, and I'm just like, no, I'm not doing
God,
that.
this smells so good.
It's still waiting for it to foam down.
What's the name of the brewery again?
Timber Ales
Well, that was an error on
in
y'all's
New,
part.
Yeah, I
Connecticut.
poured too fast. I
Yeah,
had the
so
right
did
angle. I had the right angle. I just poured too fast.
I didn't.
No, Mike didn't either. You guys win for the night.
Mike? Cheers.
So, God, it smells so good.
It does, and I want to try it.
I know.
All right, let's do this.
We're going
Chris is getting
full
hit
foam
tonight.
mustaches.
Yes.
I was gonna say,
I'm
Chris
excited.
and Dan are getting hit.
Slancha.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Salud.
boys.
Kanpai?
Goodbye.
What's the German one?
Hold on
Sorry, I already did. So.
to the man.
Yes.
By the way,
Oh.
we lost somebody. Everybody who
Oh.
watches
Hold on, we'll do the
car
German one, too.
YouTube stuff.
Yeah, the automotive world and storytelling lost one.
Oh man.
Lord
Oh.
help me, I got a race car.
All right.
Take a sip. Take a sip. Take a sip. Take a sip. Please.
Oh.
Take
Yeah.
a sip.
No. What was the one?
Hey, Prost.
Prost. Yes, the one guy said I basically nailed every chick in the county except my mom and my sister, and Rob Pitt's reply was, "Well, between the two of us, we got them all."
That's fantastic.
That's good.
I have not had a good dessert beer in a long time. That tastes like strawberry and oats and cream.
And it's okay that it's not completely all the way cold. It's perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm temperature.
That is perfect.
Perfect.
He likes it a lot.
Yeah, on the temperature thing, I'm not even mad at all.
I'm not either. It almost tastes syrupy.
Kinda.
Kind of. Not like taste, like, sorry, the texture. It almost feels syrupy. It's that
That's
thick.
definitely one. You're just gonna have one. I don't even know what the alcohol. Does it have the alcohol content on this one?
6%.
6%. You know
Yeah,
what?
it's one of those one and dones.
That is definitely a
Well,
one
no,
and
it's
done.
not a. Well, I mean, for the percentage, it's not a one and done.
That's the,
No, but I'm just talking about the-
sweetness
Well, yeah,
and
the
how thick it is.
sweetness,
It's
yeah.
sweet.
But that is.
So
dang
what
good.
was the verdict?
Oh, they love it. I had to
It's
get it out of
delicious.
Sabrina's hand.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bless you.
Ooh, a mixture between lemon and strawberry. These are pretty present. Yeah, pretty pleasant.
Nice.
Pretty pleasant.
I just got brown sugar and maple oatmeal off of that belch.
No, that's I'm saying like it tastes like strawberry oatmeal with like cream and maple syrup. If that makes sense, I don't know.
Kind of like how I like my cream of wheat.
It's yummy. I really like it.
I don't know.
Yeah, that is definitely a dessert beer for sure, and it's definitely, like I said, the alcohol content's not crazy, but that's
No,
just,
and I think that's the thing. If it was a higher alcohol content,
it would be
I think
bad.
that it would push it past the limit.
But Mike, do a slow sip on it. You
Oh
get,
no, I
you do the slow sip, you get the whole syrup experience.
It's almost like the texture thing.
yeah.
It's thick. I love it.
Well, this is the consistency of the syrup that we have at school,
Yeah,
which is why it goes everywhere. Which is why I hate syrup days.
yay, sodium hexametaphosphate.
Mm-hmm. All right, now that Chris is back.
Sorry,
And what was her verdict?
she liked it.
Did you have to forcibly take it back?
No, but she
Oh.
liked it.
Because he had to forcibly take it back.
So automotive storytellers. Obviously, Rabbit was an amazing storyteller. As described, he had a voice of gravel,
Honey
and
poured over gravel.
and that. He lost his battle with stomach cancer. It was again a 3-month thing type deal. That's usually how it goes with like that, and then like prostate cancer is one of those they find it, and then it's one of those got 3
And
months.
have a good one.
Yep. But he lived the best of it. They're actually, I think it's this weekend is
Funeral.
they're doing the funeral, and they're making it a public car show.
Yep.
Come out before, then do the funeral and all that, because that's what he wanted.
Yep.
Yeah.
And all that. Which is really, really good. I gotta give Ed Bolin a really good, good for him, because one, for keeping it together, which I'm surprised.
Actually, the one guy that I saw that definitely had a harder time keeping it together was Travis Bell.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Travis Bell, you could tell that just
Yeah.
absolutely hurt him to the core.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. These guys are friends like we're friends. They got together and started doing this YouTube stuff with VidWiki the way we got together and started doing Pints and Pistons. So,
Right.
Yeah, but their stories are way more entertaining than
It's
ours
not
are.
just a work colleague. They're
Yeah.
dear friends
Yeah.
like we
Yeah.
are.
And yeah,
And it's just, it's sad, they lost one of their best friends.
Mhm.
We lost a great storyteller, somebody who was one of my favorite entertainers. He's always been my favorite on
Oh, yeah.
VidWiki.
yeah.
The
Al-
story
always.
about him making $100,000 off of that Chrysler Town and Country
Uh-huh.
minivan, and the story about his first car dealership he worked at.
And the
Eight
Ford.
cars.
Oh, that's
eight
our
cars
best salesman right
eight
there.
cars in
He
one day.
sells 9
Rabbit,
cars a month.
He was like,
He
no,
goes,
it's
9
Robert.
cars a month. All right, well, let me just sell 15 trucks my first day.
Next day he has an office. Rabbit.
Oh, who's this rabbit guy? Because he
Uh,
couldn't read right. He thought it said rabbit. That's
Instead
where that
of Robert.
name came from.
And
Yeah.
to this day, they still called him Rabbit.
Yep.
we had that, and then oh shit, what was it? Fuck being banned from eBay.
Yeah. This-
Outlaw
this-
car sales.
This
He's-
simple
he's-
hack will get you banned for life.
He's no longer banned from eBay.
No.
And that's what
Hey,
Ed
his
said.
ban has been lifted, and I'll drink to
And,
that.
and that's what
Hey.
and that's what Ed said was, well, his ban's been lifted, so he can sell again. But on that note, it's one of
Norm
those.
Macdonald actually had a good line about cancer a long time ago. He said,
Also,
if you die, the
Rest in
cancer
peace,
also dies. So it's not a loss, it's kind of a win.
Right?
yeah, which I think he almost died around with the same thing.
Yeah.
And that. But with automotive storytellers, so I know one of my favorite people in the automotive community that I could just sit there and listen to them tell stories. Mike Joy.
Yes.
No matter what he's talking about, Mike Joy starts talking, and it's like, okay, sit down, get a book, like get a pen and paper, and just listen to what he says, because he is just he knows
I got my guy.
everything and anything. Like, it's not just NASCAR, muscle cars, imports, like everything. He knows everything, and it's not just him being like reading something off the internet. Like, he legitimately knows about everything.
Steve Magnante.
And he's another one that you can just sit there and just listen to every
Like I said,
single story he says.
the thing that he did, Junkyard Gold. Literally, just walk around the drive-through and walk around in a junkyard, see a car and go, oh yeah, this, and he was like, and if you look at this VIN plate, just right off the top of his head, decoding VINs like it was nothing. And I'm like, and then he was like, you know, if I were to restore this car, I would go, you know, this is like, yeah, I would do that too.
Right.
I'm not even gonna argue with that. 'Cause
I forgot what
I'm
I
gonna
had.
sell my car now.
I
because it's
forgot
like-
what I had for breakfast this morning.
Yeah, because it's like I can't even think of anything different I would do on that car. Well done, sir.
I think one of my absolute favorites, and it's a YouTube channel I've listened to for years now, Ed's Auto Reviews. Have any of you guys seen him?
Yep.
He's from the Netherlands, okay? And he talks about worldwide cars through history, modern day, everything. And he goes into not just the cars, but he'll go into geopolitical reasons for certain things that happen in the car world. He'll talk about cars in the 50s and 60s and what happened outside of the car world that shaped what was happening in car fashion. He'll go that deep into it. You know, he'll be like, we're going to talk about the car companies of Australia today. And do a 45-minute essay.
I can sum that up real quick. They're done.
Well, he'll go into like a 45-minute essay about the history of the Australian
Mike.
car companies and
Hey, Mike.
the geopolitical things that happened in Australia that shaped the car culture over the years. He goes very, very deep
Yeah.
into it.
Oh, you mean the police state prison? The prison
Well,
state.
Yeah, but
Australia is not real.
like he goes into at one point when the '64 Lincoln,
Oh,
the
beer-
Continental, thank you, the Continental came out, and how that was the end of futurism and the beginning of postmodernism, and how that was postmodernism embodied into a car
We
because
went
that's
from all the fins.
we went from all the fins and the
jet,
ostentatious chrome trim everywhere
and making
to
it.
this is a square. It's very subtle. It's very chill. It's very demure. It's very.
Stop.
I
Stop with that. Please stop with that.
had to. I knew it would bug him.
This is no. It's because
Very
My-
mindful.
my
very demure.
my 11 years of working my job, I've always had at least one male administrator. This is my first year. I don't, and it has. I'm not. That has popped up so many times on the radio that I'm like, please stop, please stop, please stop. I'm like, now I understand. Like, and I told Sabrina this, and she's like, oh, well, it sounds like being the girls. I'm like, yes. But now all I'm hearing is that on the radio. I'm like, just please stop. Like,
But yeah, I love Ed's Auto Reviews for that. He talks about that stuff in depth. My Classic Car is also a good one on YouTube.
Oh, Dennis Gage.
Not Dennis Gage. There's another guy that's got a channel called My Classic Car.
Well, my classic car has always, and that's trademarked. That's Dennis
Hold on,
Gage.
maybe I'm saying the wrong thing then. Hold on.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I was gonna say Dennis Gage is one of my favorite people. Also, of just his knowledge of just stuff. He just knows everything and has the coolest freaking mustache. I mean, come on.
The dude's stash has got
Sorry,
some
my
game.
old
Nice
car.
mustache.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say
And
Dennis
then
Gage,
I
Dennis
got- I
Gage's
got-
mustache. He's got game with
And then
that.
I finally got to meet him in person, and I was like, I get to meet one of my childhood like Saturday mornings, not cartoons, watching his show, Saturday mornings, eating cereal, like.
Yeah,
It's
my
like-
old
like,
car is
oh.
another guy that'll do a 45-minute long audio essay on like the 1992 Dodge Neon. Like he'll pick one of those. He sticks to stuff that's 80s and 90s. That's all he does. But he'll just pick one of those cars and do a 45-minute long essay on it and the history of its development and its impact and how it sold and what it was about and blah 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 blah, all the design stuff, the whole thing. I love
bet
that
he had a
stuff.
field day with the 1986 Taurus.
Yes.
Well, but it's also
Like I said, for me, being a
The
kid,
first car with
being a kid,
non-sealed beam headlamps in the United States.
Yep.
Lincoln Mark 7. Lincoln Mark 7 was the
was the
first.
first one.
Sure.
Mark
Yep.
7
Of
started
course,
in
it was the one that fought for halogen headlamps.
Lincoln Mark 7 got it first.
84.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, 7
84,
started in
85.
84, yep.
I'm just looking it up because I
Steve
was told
Vignante from Junket
differently.
is absolutely amazing. His friggin' knowledge. Yeah, the dude's a walking encyclopedia.
And also another one like from the modern times, Roman from Regular Car Reviews,
Yeah.
normally the camera guy and all that. When Mr. Regular lets him do Roman stuff, he deep dives. I mean, all like his deep dive into AMC and all these
Yes.
different things. Like he'll do 2-hour long deep dives into stuff, and it's just you sit there and you realize like he knows what he's talking about. I mean, like yes, it's research and all that, but like I can sit there and listen to Roman talk for hours.
Oh yeah,
Just-
his essays are good.
are amazing because then he adds, it's not just facts. Like he adds like storytelling to it. He also adds his flair to it. He'll go into his opinions, and it's just a good like sit down. I compare it to like old school radio, like just talk radio. Like,
Yeah.
it's just you can sit there and listen to it for hours of just.
Miss Neil Ports.
I've also really enjoyed his Race to the Bottom series that
Yep.
he's been doing.
Yep.
His Race to the Bottom series has been some of the best of regular car reviews recently.
It has been. It's been amazing.
Also, some of my kind of like stories that I like to listen to, and they usually end up show up on VinWiki because of the crowd that they're running with, are the Cannonball stories.
Oh God! Oh, I want to do that so bad.
Oh,
Yeah,
all the
lo-
Cannonball stories are great.
Yeah, like I said, back when what's his face reset the record with the BMW, the Pulitzer markings and all that. What was that guy's name?
Shit, I know exactly. I can
Yeah,
see
no,
his face
yeah,
there.
exactly.
I
But
forgot
like
what
I said,
you're talking
starting with that, and the fact that they waited until there was absolutely certain that statute of limitations for all of the traffic offenses had cleared. did they publish the story about breaking about resetting the Cannonball record? And then after that, it was just like the floodgates. It was like every year it seems like there's, even if they're not successful at it, the stories that are told about their attempts are epic. It's
Well,
great.
I love the fact that it's not just the Cannonball now. We've got the Cannonball, we've got the Musket Ball, we've got the Bandit Run, we've got
Southern
the
Classic.
Southern Classic, the C2C.
about. I want to do one of those so bad.
I would love to do a Cannonball drive.
I want to do.
Even if
one
it's
of
not a
those.
record attempt. I don't care if it's a record attempt. I just want to do the...
It's one of those at this point. Like I can say, like fuck it, take the expedition. Like
Basically, so that we can
in-
park in Manhattan and get a picture in front of the Red Ball Garage,
and then drive to the
Well,
Portofino.
well,
and then get a picture in front of the Portofino.
That's a little bit long.
That's
I'm ta-
no. That's the Cannonball.
I know, but
The
no,
Red Bull
no,
Garage
I
to the Portofino.
understand
that's,
that.
That's the Cannonball.
I'm talking about. I can't take that long off of work. So
It's...
the Bandit Run. The Bandit Run.
So,
I can
hold
do the
on.
I
So
can do the
it's-
Bandit Run because at that point I gotta drive to New York.
Well,
and then
so that's
do
what I'm about to say
all
is
that.
it's about 24 hours nonstop to New York.
Oh, yeah, I ain't doing nonstop. Have you
And
seen my
then-
stomach? Have you seen my stomach?
And then
I
we
shit
go
every hour.
from New York to California. If we were to team up and drive it, as a team and split the drive, probably a normal group of human beings probably pull it off in 35 hours. Then we got to drive back to Florida. So figure another 40 hours there. So it's a week off. We could pull it off.
Bandit Run. Better.
Yeah, we could do the Bandit
Bandit
Run.
Run.
AKA
Bandit
Southern
Run.
Classic.
Atlanta to Texarkana.
Atlanta
back
Motor
to Atlanta.
Speedway, Texarkana Motor Speedway, buy some Coors Banquet, and back to
back.
Atlanta Motor Speedway.
I can
Southern
do that
Classic.
one. I can do that one.
Yeah.
Also, I haven't been farther.
But you have to admit, just listen to the old school guys, the generation before Brian and me, talking about the good old days. Yeah, I remember watching when NASCAR was still good, listening to Ned Jarrett and all of those guys talk about stuff. That was
Well, and see, here's the thing, though. For the Cannonball Run, The good old days wasn't that long ago. The
No, it
good old
wasn't.
days was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Right around this time, 4 years ago, was the good old days.
You
for
know what? The only
Cannonball.
thing is that record will always have an asterisk next to it because it was pretty much the COVID record because
Yes.
the traffic was so light.
The
Yeah.
COVID record will always stand.
It's-
I don't think they'll ever beat the COVID record.
Somebody,
I
one of the
I
quickest-
won't say never, but I
It'll
highly
be hard.
doubt.
It'll be hard to do it.
I highly doubt
Somebody will
anybody's
figure it
ever
out.
gonna get
Yeah,
that.
at that
Somebody will
point,
figure
that
it out.
was basically cutting population in half.
Yeah, and traffic was just
Yeah.
Well, not
to
only
nothing.
was traffic nothing, but cops were instructed not to pull cars over for speeding.
yeah.
Like, unless it was
Where we
a
going?
like a real crime.
Talking about the Cannonball COVID record
Unless
because
it was a crime,
God damn.
like an actual crime was committed, the cops were told, "Listen, it's not worth the risk. If they're just speeding, let them go."
they're probably on the way to the hospital.
Right. So the cops are seeing somebody go past them on the highway at a $1.15, $1.20 on a steady run. They go, "Yeah, maybe they might have COVID."
Yeah,
I'm
not my
pulling them
circus, not my circus, not my monkeys.
Yeah.
No, it was the guys that basically they took an Audi and then they basically stripped it down and debadged it and everything and made it look like a tourist cop car.
Yep.
I'm very curious about the auction car this week
No.
because Cars and Bids has had some very interesting stuff on it.
Which is weird because when I was perusing the completed auctions today, looking at that, I didn't see a whole lot of interesting things.
Well, before we go into the auction car, just really quick, some of my favorite storytellers, just those old guys that you sit down and talk to at car shows,
Yeah.
and that. Not like some not like some of those that like my corn rant was up. No,
No,
like,
no, well,
you know
like,
who I'm
like
talking
that.
about.
Some,
like
some of the guys we had at our show last year, and some of those will be back this year with a real deal Thunderbolt.
But it's one of those, like, you sit down and you talk to Harley, and just listening to his stories about stuff.
Yeah.
And then just, there was, the group of guys that we
Yeah.
have seen over the years that it's like, oh.
Yeah, Al Jonick,
oh,
Milo, all of those old school proper Ford race drivers that have been showing up to our car show the past couple of years. They'll be there then this year.
Mhm.
Not only that, they're bringing the cars, and I think this year we're going to have an actual Ford Thunderbolt. It's going to be one of the earlier cars, and it's going to be a car that he got from Ford, raced it, sold it, and bought it back, and still does things with it.
But yeah, there's been many people of that I have from a young age of 14, 15 going to car shows and just sitting and listening to. So I mean, you remember Jerry?
Yeah.
Annette he lived right down the road from me at that point, and being him every Saturday and Sunday, he'd pick me up in the morning, we'd go out to breakfast, and then it was just, he was like my extra grandpa.
Yeah.
Like, and we'd go out to Granny's to have breakfast, and then just me and him, he ended up, like, his wife, like, they got divorced and all that, and it was a old Jerry, and then he was in his late 70s, and he'd pick me up in his 02 GT that he had supercharged, and we just listened to bluegrass music and just go hit junkyards, go do all sorts of stuff, and just the stories and that of drag racing at this track with this car, and just I could listen to that for hours. And,
Yeah.
well, I did listen to it for hours.
Yeah.
And that, but yeah, no, that's some of the greatest storytellers is not only the famous people, just sitting around and going to a car show and sitting down and listening. And see what you can hear.
Yeah,
'Cause
sometimes
you'll be surprised
you'll pick up
what you can hear.
some real gems.
Mm-hmm. Not just my car can jump a cocaine and all that. Like you had that, but then you also have like the actual
Yeah.
I actually raced factory race cars for these people. It's like
Yeah, and like I
okay.
said, there's a guy in our club. His name is Charlie Morris, and he's authored several books. He calls himself
I
a
actually
drag.
just
He
got
calls
one. I
calls
just got
himself
one of
a
his books from Tom.
calls himself a drag racer of little import. But I mean, he was around all that stuff back in the day, and he knew a lot of those guys. Still knows a lot of those guys, and the guy is he's a historian. And the amount of, like I said,
He can be a jackass, but
he
besides
can
that.
be from New Jersey.
Yeah.
But
He
overall,
can
like
be
I
a
said,
jackass.
though,
Normal
the
behavior.
thing is, though, a lot of times, like, he might be a little bit of a jackass, but then afterwards, a couple days later, you'll get a message like, "Hey, man, can you call me?" And he'll apologize for being a jackass.
Mhm.
Like, he's he's actually a very nice guy.
So-
Fantastic dude.
Do you want a little tiny, quick, old story?
Go for
Very
it.
small. So my grandfather,
You said small. I figured it was about him.
at 3/4.
No, 3/4 is me.
Oh, they got one of his books at Napa.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, his muscle car book, he goes into like all of them, and he's not biased on them. He himself is a Ford guy, but when he writes the muscle car books, he covers everything.
Remind me before everybody leaves, I need to actually show you the package I got from Tom this time, because last time I wasn't able to show y'all. I got too drunk and I didn't
Tom
get to show you.
probably has all the info you need to do undo the locks on those lures out there.
Yeah, well, he's sending me like 4 more boxes, so.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Yeah.
Right,
Anyway,
so,
sorry.
So, my grandfather was kind of a car guy. He was a car guy, but like wasn't always into it, I guess you'd say. But back in the '60s, he was big into cars, and he was from Germany, and he liked European cars and everything. And he got a Fiat, was I think a 2000 turbo, early '60s, or 200 turbo or something like that.
2000 typically did things based on displacement.
And ended up getting. He said he told me he put a different rear end in it. He found out of like the bigger Alfa Romeo Spider that went in it. Yeah, they found a bigger turbo to put on it, and then he said they had that head reworked and a different camshaft put in it. And he was telling me stories about how he would like see these guys with the Chevelles and Corvettes and everything, and he'd be in his little Fiat and 4-cylinder and just blast the doors off. He said it would spin first gear and second gear and feel like you're about to crash off the road. Then you get
Well, yeah, that's
traction
because
and
their
keep
tires
hanging.
were about as wide as these bottle caps.
Yeah.
Riding on bike tires.
But like that was cool. That was like some proper old time like old American stuff with a guy who wasn't from America.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's like the shit we'll tell our grandkids about, how we used to go down I-75 and do, road races in Ocala. Allegedly.
In Mexico.
In Mexico.
I really need to. I can't wait to get the car sorted out, to be honest, because
Neither can I, because I want to drive it again with a new turbo.
well, once it's sorted out and tune is done,
Because now there's only one turbo manual car that I can go play with.
and that should be around like 360 to 370 to the wheels.
Yeah,
So,
I know that little blast pass here is going to be a whole lot different than the last blast pass here
it's
that I
gonna be
made.
so aggressive.
So,
Can't wait.
All right, you
Car's a
ready?
big car.
He said clap.
And alakazam.
Alakazoo.
3-liter V6.
And bids
What I got
cars,
here
right.
is a 1983 Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra Broham.
Yeah.
It's maximum brown.
V6 power,
Yeah.
velour upholstery, unmodified and California owned.
And it's a coupe.
I was gonna say Serena had a 4-door of that.
And
That
this
was her
one, this
first
one
car.
has a whopping 81,000 miles on the clock.
It was goat shit brown on goat shit
3-speed automatic,
brown.
body style coupe.
Please-
Exterior
please.
color dark brown, light brown. Interior color brown.
Oh, brown.
Brown on
Trip.
brown.
Please tell me
This is
Hold
one of
on.
those cars
Hold
that
on,
the
hold on.
engineer was so upset that he couldn't figure out how to make the steering wheel square.
Like,
Nice
is that oil pan and fuel tank new?
They're either new or this car's never been driven.
It's in California, so
it's clean.
it's in California. It's got 81,000 miles on it.
It
Dude,
is
well,
super.
But the underside was really
I was gonna
nice.
say,
The whole
either-
underside, like I
either
said.
that's fully replaced, or this
Look
thing
at
was
it.
literally
The
driven
whole-
on Sundays, put in the garage.
The
washed
whole
every single
underside
week.
of that car was
Did
ridiculous.
they have a
Listen,
membership?
Grandma and Grandpa bought this
Okay, let's put
brand
it this
new.
way: the only
and they've
surface
never
the only
driven
surface
on-
rust that I saw on it was the mid pipe between the catalytic converter and the muffler.
See, it's perfectly clean under there. I think it's just all that
Also,
clean.
let's,
Yeah,
let's
like I
love
said,
that
look-
solid rear axle.
Like I said, I mean, look at the rubber stops there in the trunk holes. Like, look at the
Look at it.
like it's got some problems with the paint. It's got nicks. It's got scratches. It's got little scrapes and bumps here and there.
But Grandma and Grandpa only drove this thing on Sundays to go to church, and then they stopped at the store, and then
Yeah,
drove
that
it
was
home.
the car Grandpa
They-
could hit us in the back seat.
And it
'cause he
does
could
have a
reach.
clean. It does have a clean.
Yep.
It is a clean California title.
That
Mileage
thing's
is accurate.
nice. Look at how clean it is.
No
But it
accident-
still
no
has,
accident
like, all
history
the
on the
stickers,
Carfax?
all, like the tags.
I mean, like you can tell, obviously that that muffler and tailpipe have been replaced at
Look
some
at
point in the
that.
car.
Oh.
But
I don't know.
it has got the thick pile carpet. Like,
I don't know. I don't think that's been replaced. I think
I was
that's.
gonna say, look
factory.
at that old pan, man.
that's a transmission pan.
That was a transmission.
That was a
Yeah,
transmission
metric,
pan. Yeah, that's a
Where it says
transmission
metric,
pan.
that's training pan.
Oh well. Anyway, still, there's no anything on it.
And Mike
So-
from Old School says 6,800.
So we got the Broham trim, plush interior with vinyl accents, and it does say Broham all over the door cards and everywhere else.
Well, of
The
course.
bro
Because it is because it's a Broham.
And it's also 19.
Not a Brome.
is my
It-
bro ham.
It's not a Brome.
Brom.
It's Broham.
Brom.
It's Broham.
My honey baked ham is better than your honey baked ham.
My honey baked ham is spiral sliced.
Cadillac makes the bro ham.
Mine's
My
uncured,
old
yours is
mobile's
cured.
the bro ham.
You wanna go to the country
Leatherette
kitchen
interior
inside?
door pills, additional chrome trim, reading lamp. By the way, that additional chrome trim all says Broham. 13-inch steel wheels with wire style wheel covers. So it's very. I saw this one and I'm like, you know what? For the 86 Thunderbird I did last time, this was perfect.
I feel like I'm gonna shoot way under, but
Delco AM/FM stereo, air conditioning,
Mm.
and again, various chip scratches and paint blemishes as seen in all the gallery photos. And there's plenty of pictures of this thing. You know, a little bit of peeling clear coat because, you know, 80s GM car.
it's
Fitting
bad.
on chrome trim.
I have a feeling that it just,
Misaligned trim on passenger side front bumper because mid-80s GM.
Uh-huh.
Somewhere on seats and interior touch points.
Remember, it's not bring a trailer. Remember, just remember, it's
I
not bring a
know,
trailer.
I know, but I just have a feeling that
that
really,
niche buyer is
no,
gonna throw
it-
that amount at it.
It really wants to tell me that I need Jesus and need to vote Republican.
Door
Oh
to
yeah,
door.
this car votes Republican for sure.
no. Flyer taped to your front door.
Oh yeah,
It goes to church on Sundays.
there should be like, is there
Alright.
blue? Is there blue staining on the headrest?
$5,500.
No. No, it doesn't have any blue hair dye on the headrests.
There
So
should be.
Mike says 6,800. You say 55.
55.
You're gonna come up short on that number?
No.
You're such a dick.
You're
I love it.
55,
55.
68. No, I think someone's gonna go. I'm gonna go 72.
I'm gonna bid $1.
All right,
Pulling
60,
that move.
68.
Something sounded good there.
Mustang.
Mustang.
That's Robbie.
Yep, that is Robbie. Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Stuff's happening.
Hello.
Didn't-
What's up?
Didn't they two-step it?
A little bit.
I don't know.
I like it. I like it a lot.
All right,
I'll call you back.
6,800.
All right, love you, bro.
55,
55.
72.
Bob, I'd like to bid $1.
Chris wins, $4,000.
What?
Nice.
4,000
I
bucks.
knew it was gonna be cheap.
He just sniped us.
4,000 bucks.
Nobody cares.
No one does.
That's
no
true.
No
one
one
does.
No.
wants that.
But
Yeah,
that's why
no.
I did 72.
now,
'cause I
here's the
figured-
I did
funny
55.
thing. I want that.
It's sold for 4,000 bucks.
I want that.
I mean, so somebody paid 4,000 bucks and they're paying it to ship it somewhere.
right.
I figured there was some pastor out somewhere that wanted.
It's not even that. That's actually like. It's not that it's cool. It's not that it's reliable. It's not that it's like
I was gonna say
anything
anything it's
special.
The 3-liter. It's
what's
not
what's
reliable.
impressive about that is the fact that it's
Go find
all
me another
in
one.
One piece.
Go find me another one.
Exactly. It's all in one piece. That's the only one.
I knew 68 was being generous. Yeah, quite a bit.
That's the only one left.
Yeah.
It's like a members only jacket. It's the only one.
No, he's got members only.
That's why
jacket.
I thought.
Are you the
50
last member?
I got two.
I thought
I
5,500
got a
was too
tan
high.
one and I got a blue one.
I'm not gonna lie. If I find a red XL or XXL that'll fit my shoulders, I'm totally getting it.
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
absolutely.
I love my members only. That thing is amazing.
But yeah, no, like that thing's just cool for the fact that it's a Survivor. It's the only one left.
It's
as
been.
far
It was
as I'm-
repainted by the original owner. It does have a few new parts, and the fuel tank was one of them.
Okay.
But
Don't say because that looked new.
yeah, but like I said, I mean, go find me another one.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I would only want it to just sit in it and go, "Yup, it's 1988."
The one thing I noticed on Cars and Bids this week when I was going through the completed auctions is what I was seeing a lot of was FDRX7s and 928 Porsche 928s. There was a shit ton of all of
A
those.
lot of FDs on Facebook Marketplace too.
Yeah,
Lots of them.
And the prices were from high 30s to mid 20s on the FDs. Is
Really?
what I
You know
was
what
seeing.
else I've seen crashing in the market? As far as like Facebook Marketplace and whatnot? Broncos.
Oh yeah.
Broncos are
Yep.
tail spinning.
You know
into
why?
Nothing.
You know why?
Why?
Drive by the dealership. They've got
Wait,
them
hold on.
lined up
No,
on
no,
the lot.
I'm talking about
No, mid
95, 93 to 96 Broncos.
OJ era Broncos.
OJ Broncos. Because for a while, those were like,
Yeah, they're collapsing.
people were going,
now.
oh yeah, I want $25,000 for this Bronco that's got 160,000
I-
miles on it.
I'd still rather
Now I'm
have like
seeing
a
them for like
78,
3 grand.
79 Bronco, like
Those
the
are-
beginning
those
of the
are
full size.
Not as scale dropping down, but they're starting to drop down.
Because they had better color options.
I'm seeing
They
a
did.
lot of things drop in the used car market.
Well, right now everything's so expensive.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The bubbles popped, and it's like Miatas are dropping, Broncos are dropping,
Well, the last big
FDRX7s are dropping.
last
I'm
big-
betting
last big-
Supras are
I'm waiting
dropping.
for my time to slip in.
last big Barrett Jackson auction. There was a lot of cars that went off for way less money than they had been going for.
But FCs and E30s skyrocketing.
Still.
Foxes still ain't dropping. They're holding strong.
Foxes are holding strong. Foxes are always
Speaking
gonna hold strong.
speaking of Fox,
Foxes
Here's
are-
why: is
hold on.
because the market is has become as saturated as it would ever get 5 years ago.
Their Foxes are still holding strong. SNs are going up more.
SNs are getting
and
some
new,
respect.
New edges are starting to go
Yeah,
back
now
up
early SNs, call it a Mark 1 SN and and a Mark 2 SN.
Yeah, new edges.
Those are starting to climb for the really nice
And
and
then
clean
also
ones.
the first gen
Whereas-
S197s are starting to come back up. They
Yeah.
hit their bottom point. They're starting to
Like,
come
I
back
don't
up.
know. Every time I kind of track values on my cars on early S197s, it still seems like they're.
I don't think they found the bottom.
That's
yet.
what I'm saying. I still
I'm-
think they're hovering. I think right now things are a little bit artificially inflated, but I think they still have
Because
not
if I could
quite
find
yet.
one cheap enough,
Well-
if I could find one for a GT for $3,000, $4,000, I'd buy one.
You're not gonna
hate
find.
to
You're not
put
gonna
it in
find
your
one
head.
there yet. Couple of years, you'll probably find that one.
We're watching the modern car market begin. Modern classic car market begin. Sorry.
Well,
That's
yeah,
what we're
because
watching
now we're seeing all the cars from the early
Yo,
to
you
mid
okay,
2000s are
got a little
approaching
swelling going on
antique
there.
status.
Right. Well, an 05 Mustang's
Oh
Years
god.
old.
20 years old.
Behind the
that's
net.
a 20-year-old car now.
Yeah.
You got your lymph nodes okay, dude? You're a little swollen.
Hey, turn
Well,
that
anyway.
turn that
Holy
back
crap!
on. We have,
an
hey,
05 Mustang is
we have
20
not
years
we have not
old.
signed
Oh,
off
sorry.
yet. Turn that shit back on.
Well, yeah, no, well, it's one of those. My car's
A
about
20-year-old Mustang is
In-
2005.
in a
guys.
year and a half. My car will be 40 years old.
Yeah.
Well, no,
I
what was
still
funny-
think of
I was talking-
40-year-old
I was talking to
cars
somebody
as
about-
a first-gen fucking 65 Mustang.
Yeah, Brett's car or Brett's car.
Not
Yeah.
my Fox body.
So
Right.
I was talking to somebody at one of our car meets one time about maybe because of those aftermarket taillights I've got doing the vinyl panel between the taillights to black out the trunk.
I agree.
And somebody says, "Oh, you're gonna do that mid 2000s thing," and I'm like,
Um,
"That is a
Fuck
mid
you.
2000s car." No, I looked at it, I was like, "But that is a mid 2000s car."
Well, no, it's like telling somebody that was born in the you're calling somebody born in the 1900s. Excuse me, sir. Go fuck yourself.
You know what, how many kids at my school taught, oh, you were born in 1900. I'm like, fuck you. Like, I, can't
I
help
will
you.
kill you.
I
I will punt you across this hall. You're small. I will tear you up.
Kick the baby.
And don't do that.
And on
Don't kick the
that
baby.
note, gentlemen.
Don't kick the baby.
On that note,
On that note, gentlemen.
one thing we haven't talked about just yet, because we were talking about losses and whatnot.
Yes.
Raise a glass to another thing that's coming to an end. September 16th.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're seeing
64
the
Falcon,
very
60 years
last-
old. Yeah, your car is older than me.
We are seeing the very last time that Richard Hammond, James May, and Jeremy Clarkson are going to be together on screen ever.
Yep.
They're done.
Jezza Hamster and Captain Slow.
One last ride.
And that's the name of the special, and I am very, very sad for
I
that.
am in my feels about this pretty
I
big time. I'm sad
Still
about
want
this.
to watch it. I mean, I'm going to watch it, but like I saw the trailer, and I cried during the trailer.
Yep.
I watched it last night, and I don't. 22 years of them being together doing this, and that is 22 years of them being in my life, of basically starting from my formative car years of when, like, not only, hey, it's a car, to
Cars can
like,
be fun.
yeah, was watching them from square one all the way to now. It has been solid for 22 years in my life.
Of
Right.
those three getting up to shenanigans.
I don't
Okay, this beer is
Don't-
tasty, but it makes me belch a lot.
I don't know.
what to do with my hands afterwards.
I don't know.
You know, like, it's one of those, like, also congratulations for doing 22 years together. Like, that's amazing to see that something that they thought in a few years was going to be done turned into a 22-year long endeavor.
Well, it was them. That was the thing. Was Top Gear was nothing until those three came together, and that was the lightning in a bottle for that show.
Yeah, the
That's
very
why that show was so popular.
first iteration of Top Gear was boring as shit.
Right. Well, it didn't have James May.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
he
you had
was-
you had Clarkson in that, but it wasn't. There was no personality to it. You
Right.
had some of Clarkson's personality.
It was when they finally got James May and they started riffing back and forth that
Yeah,
the
'cause
producers
you-
realized,
well-
hold on, the best part of this show is these three personalities
Well, 'cause
bouncing off each other.
When they did their new iteration, you had Clarkson and you had Hammond, and then that other guy.
Yeah, guy
that
number
was
3.
only there for
A season or two.
season?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
he's
guy,
there
one
one
season.
series.
guy number 3.
And you could tell that Clarkson and Hammond were hitting it off. He wasn't.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, May came in, and just two episodes in, it was boom, boom, boom. The click happened, and then it was just this went from, yes, it was a scripted show and all that, but a good
The writing was so good.
A good 90% of that was just them.
And
It was
then they
just their
got Andy
personalities.
Willman as the producer.
Right.
And they
And-
just literally went off each other of just, we're making this an improv comedy show. Hey, we're also talking about cars.
I've also watched all of the spin-offs from different parts of the world, including, what is it, like 3 different versions of Top Gear US?
And they just never hit off.
The only one that was good was Adam Rutledge and
the original
and
US.
Tanner.
And they canceled
And it
before
took
they
them
could.
and it even took them a while because they started out doing like the studio and the test track. And I still think that American Stig
It was Mark Martin. It was Mark Martin.
Had
I
to have been
agree.
Mark Martin.
Size,
The
steering,
driving
the way he
position,
was
the
steering.
whole
The way
nine yards.
he drove.
Because Tanner's a small guy, but he doesn't sit in the car the way Mark Martin sits in the car. And I looked at that, I was like, that's got to be Mark Martin.
Yeah.
But like I said, their version of the studio didn't work because they hadn't been together long enough for them to work.
Right.
But once they got out of the studio and just started doing like their adventures and their car reviews and all that sort of
They
stuff,
started to actually click.
then they started clicking and they started firing all cylinders. They developed their own unique personalities that was really like, this is just who I am.
Right.
And then the 3 of them together, they worked really well together. Because you had Rutledge.
Well, when they first
because you had
they even
Adam,
said-
because Adam was kind of like not the car guy.
Yeah. Well,
May.
he had said, what he did interviews about that. He was like, when we first started doing the show, they were trying to force this character onto me that I wasn't,
Yeah.
and it didn't work. Once they left us to kind of our own devices and let me be who I was as a person,
Yeah.
and our personalities came out, then it actually started to work because they
Mm-hmm.
forced him into like the brutish, the breaker guy, and
Yeah.
it wasn't him. They made Rutledge into the car nerd,
Rutledge is a car nerd.
and he is a car nerd, but they forced it.
Yeah. It
And
wasn't.
they
it was.
wrote him as a car nerd instead of letting him be a car
It
nerd.
was
And then
Ru-
you
it
had
was- it was
Tanner, who
Rutledge-
was small, so they're like, hey, you're Hammond.
Right.
Hey, like,
But, like I said, of the 3, I'm like Tanner was the one that could absolutely drive the wheels off of anything. And you look at some of the stuff that Tanner Faust did. I mean, obviously he had all of his drifting stuff. He had his rallycross
Rallycross,
stuff and
yeah.
all of the professional stuff that he did. He also did the Hot Wheels truck jump at Daytona.
yep.
Yeah.
Like nobody, like they were keeping that a big secret because they were not saying who the driver was. It was Tanner Faust. So I mean, the guy needs a special racing seat with a special pocket for those gigantic steel balls of his.
Yes.
But when they let him kind of go, and like I said, towards the end of the series before they got canceled, they were gelling, and it was Adam, the non-car guy. It was Rutledge, the absolute car nerd that he was, not Rutledge playing a car nerd, and it was Tanner just being Tanner and doing crazy driving shit.
Right.
And they did fantastic. Like, of all of the ones that I've seen, like, I've seen some of the Top Gear Australia, wasn't that good. They tried to reboot that again and actually got Moog from Mighty Car Mods as one of the guys. He did great for being thrown into that.
But it just didn't.
Just not quite there.
Right.
And then, like I said, the other two iterations of Top Gear USA, the second version I had high hopes for because, you know, Adam Fichtner and then, who was the other? I had one British guy, and it's like, these were like genuine car guys. Again, it just didn't quite work.
You're talking about Fifth Gear with Tiffany Dell?
No. That was like the Kmart. That was Fifth Gear was always the Kmart version of Top Gear.
They burnt down their prop studio.
Although Tiff he's a genuine race car driver.
Yeah.
Like, he was a tamed racing driver.
Yes.
And that guy's got stories and everything like that. I mean, you know, I'd love to hang out with that guy and just listen to those stories. But yeah, I mean, Fifth Gear as a show though was always kind of like the Kmart version of Top Gear.
It's the Wish version. Yeah. It's the we have Top Gear at home.
Yeah.
We have Top Gear at home. You don't need to stop for Top Gear.
It was the Top Gear that was on PBS.
Yes.
Yeah, kind of.
But
anyways, so that's we just wanted to talk about.
Yeah,
that
we're gonna cry. All of us are gonna cry.
I'm gonna cry.
At least me and Chris are gonna be bawling.
These two are gonna cry.
So on that bombshell, let's bring it into an end and
We'll
see
be back
you guys.
in a couple weeks.
in
We'll be back
2
to the
weeks.
studio then.
Back to the studio.
Back to the studio.